happened was they had the car on a cable, and they were going to tow the car, and then the cable was going to release, and it was going to fly over after they gained some speed. But there was a sandbag in front of the car's wheels as a safety, so it wouldn't roll prematurely.
It was on a slight hill.
So they said, okay. They started pulling it, and immediately the sandbag stopped the car from rolling. The cable snapped, and it just rolled down the hill like a runny nose. And it just barely had enough momentum to even break through the wall. I wished it didn't break through the wall.
Yeah.
Then we would have had a second take. But it had just enough momentum to just kind of, and if you look at it, it just falls over. It was supposed to fly into the air. Big disappointment. Just get it over, but snap the cable.
Low budget filmmaking, got one shot.
And then we had another great gag. We had this really great effects effects fabricator. We actually built an outrigger on the car.
Oh no, this is
And the clown, this performer, was sitting in this outrigger, and he had a little control in his hand, and he was able to slide forward and slide back, move into the car, move out of the car, and we were shooting this thing live on location with a camera car, shooting this car going down the road with a clown banging into him, floating in midair with headlights on his feet. We shot it. He lit the characters, and no light went on the background. So when the dailies came back, all you saw was the car and the clown against a black background.
We might as well soundstage.
We might as well shot it on a soundstage against a black curtain. There was no production value at all. It was awful. So then I wanted to reshoot it, so I kind of sped up the shooting of everything else. If I had to take a day for something, I did it in half a day. So little by little, I gained some time so that we had a half a day in the schedule to reshoot this thing. So then we had it. A half a day at night, we were going to reshoot it. They found another location in a park, and we lit it properly. We lit the background so you can see it. I was in the camera car. We're shooting this thing, and we got the dailies back. The road was so bumpy, everything was bouncing around. So the camera was bouncing all the time, and we were using long lenses to get close-ups, and the lenses were bouncing around. It was awful. It was crap.
So it was out of the movie. We couldn't cut a sequence out of it. And then Charlie went back with the editor and salvaged.
I was so disappointed, and I said, "Forget it, cut it out of the movie." Then Charlie said, "No, he wanted to do something with it." So he worked with the editor, and he salvaged that entire sequence.
But when I look at it now, the first shot you see is the car coming around in the effects shot with the stop motion clown floating. So instead of revealing it as a glance to a clown next to the car, the cut that was used was it gives it away. It reveals the clown floating, next to the clown, the car in a rear projected stop motion sequence. That should have been put later on, but again, it was such a mess. It's amazing it was even in there in the first place, because the reason it had to go in there because it was the original concept of the whole film to begin with. A clown on a mountain road.
Well, it was really supposed to be the pre-title sequence.
Yeah. But it was destined for failure. I mean, that shot didn't work out, and the car crash didn't work out. So that whole sequence seemed to have a lot of problems.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in the sequel if we ever get to do it. We'll do it with CG. We know it'll work.
Yeah. It would have been better off to have, had we had the budget, we had Gene Warren in Fantasy 2. We could have done a miniature car and a miniature cliff and shot it off and probably had a better...
Well, it's true. I mean, actually, at the end of the film, when the ice cream truck breaks through the wall, we had a plan to do it live. We had Philip Foreman, our production designer, our art director, building a wall that was going to break away, and we were going to put the car through it. And as we're doing it, Gene Warren was on the set with us.
He comes over to me and says, "Hey, we're wasting a lot to do this in miniature, and it'll look great, and you can get on with your shooting the rest of that night."
So we agreed with him, and then what we did was we took the broken wall that we were going to break through, and we just dressed the truck in it as if it had just broken through. So we picked it up from there, and then Gene and his crew, they created an entire thing in miniature, and it's beautiful.
Well, we had to make the miniature ice cream truck anyway, because Clownzilla was me in a suit, and I had to pound it and we were going to blow it up. So Gene says, well, I'll have it crash through a wall too in miniature instead of the full size.
Right speed and the right scale. So everything you had to do is in line and had to do it really quick.
Okay, ready, Cena?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Action! Start rotating when you start
Clear frame.
flipping it as you come towards us more.
Okay, here we go.
Action! That's the one. Pretty good. The way they were being lit, they threw shadows on each other. It was just awful. And it was a great gag.
You can see in the video, it works. See how everything goes black? On film, you see the wall behind it.
You see the wall, you see the floor,
You see the platform. Actually, not the wall behind it so much. You actually see the platform.
in the foreground. They're walking on a platform.
And plus, they were nearly blind in this suit.
Right. Yeah, they couldn't, and they all looked down at their feet because they were afraid they were going to fall. So they gave them funny walks to kind of justify that they weren't running.
But you can see how it works. It looks like they're on the tightrope. And now they're going on a tightrope upstairs.
Well, they were never supposed to walk up that far. Our heroes walked up that, because the reveal is our heroes walked up that thing, and it's a joke when you kind of pan with them and you follow them go up. What was it? Spike.
You're right, because the stairs weren't measured for clown feet.
Door on the floor, and they came up through the floor, and I had them get this rig so that we could start the shot sideways, so it looks like they're going through a regular vertical door, and then you turn the camera around and find out that they're coming up from the floor. Well, we had this rig for 5 weeks on the 6-week shoot, and we're going to use it on the last week. The week before, they sent it back to Los Angeles, the day we needed it. So we didn't have the rig to do that. So they makeshifted. They took two camera heads, put them together so they can get the double tilt, and it just didn't work. And then the set that they were supposed to have ready, the paint was still wet on it. So when the actors were walking on it, they got paint on their costumes. It was just like a screw job.
Now, what happened, we were shooting during the day. The art department were painting at night. It was cold and damp at night, so the paint wasn't drying for our day of shooting. Suzanne was scared to death. They're just popping.
This is the night I got into that roaring argument with Fred Wardell, and you had to come and separate.
You know, some people question how they move, and they could have moved scarier, they could have done this, they could have done that. I don't know. There's something so low-key and dumb about what they do, and yet they're still frightening. I think if I had made them do scary things, it wouldn't have been really scary. The fact that they're so inept and mundane and flat, I think plays into the kind of scariness. It's like a low-key scare. I don't know. I keep on questioning the take on it. And I come back to the same decision.